Leslie, I think we can hear you then.
Yeah, I just wasn't speaking, but you guys have music and voice right now? Just give me thumbs up if that's a yes. And does the balance feel okay? Do we need more voice? No? Do we need more music?
A little.
Oh, we're good just the way we are?
Good. Okay.
That means we do this. Okay. We do more, we do less, we do okay. All right, good. This is week number 6 of me teaching like this to a screen of beautiful faces, and I'm so used to being in the presence of bodies, but I have to tell you that I am so warming up to this kind of experience. If we can't really be together, we might as well hear voices and see faces and actually be in a space. So whatever space you've chosen, some of you are in a room, some of you are outside, whatever space that you have chosen, I want you to just be in it. You know, just come into a comfortable seated position. If you feel safe where you are, then maybe just close your eyes. Start to realize the space that you're in. You could feel the breeze on your skin, or you could just, even with your eyes closed, start to know the familiarity of the space that you're in. What's all around you? Are you in the living room where you make memories with family and friends? Are you in your bedroom where you sleep peacefully at night? In the kitchen near where you make meals, love, connection? Just let yourself be right there. And then breathe. Just breathe a little more deeply than you would just if you were sitting there by yourself. Know that you are part of a collective energy right now. And we're tuning in from all over this beautiful planet to experience a beautiful ritual. And it seems like something so simple, but it's quite profound when we combine breath and movement together. And all of us together, this collective energy is the merging of our love for yoga and for travel. And myself, I am truly grateful for your participation, because you're supporting not just the yoga industry, but the travel industry. We all need each other right now in all kinds of weird and different ways. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being part of the experience. We're going to take the breath up a notch and start to take it in and out of the nose with a little bit more vigor. So you may feel the filling of the chest, expanding of the back ribs, a little widening of the waistline. And I want to set the tone with the breath before we even start moving, so that that breath becomes the foundation of what we're going to do together. And I want you to know that no matter what I offer in terms of the practice, I have a feeling that we're all different levels. And so I give you permission right now to modify in any way. Grab props, use them in any way that you can or you know how. If I see that there's props available and I think there's a way that I could help you use them, I will offer that. But the goal is not, again, perfection. It's really just about the breath and the movement, so we can transform some of what we're feeling. On your next inhalation, reach the arms up overhead. Just stretch the arms up and reach. Good, then exhale, bring it right into the heart. It's kind of a beautiful way to feel the midline and to just draw your own energy to center. And then again, inhale, reach the arms up, just feel the space around you. And exhale, bring it right into the heart. We'll do one more breath like that, just like taking it all in, feeling good to be alive. Exhale, bring it right into the heart center. And then if you would, inhale, but take the arms only halfway. Just bring them right out to the sides. Let them hover there for a second, and then tip the body to the right. So the right hand touches down, out a little wide, and reach up toward the sky or the ceiling, wherever you're at. And know that as soon as you did that, you probably tipped some of your weight over to the right. So I'm going to ask you to push the right hand into the mat so your left sit bone presses into the mat. Create a little more space on your left side, and then turn your gaze down to your right hand. Just like a little bit of rotation in the neck. And on your next inhale, turn your gaze all the way up toward your left hand. Just open up from the chest, reach a little higher, and then engage your core, belly to the spine, and float right back up to that arms out like a T. That's it. And then we'll do it to the other side. It's so simple. Stretching up and opening up the right side body. Pushing a little bit into the left hand so you keep that right sit bone grounded. And then just turn your gaze. Look down toward your left hand. Just rotate the neck. And then go ahead, turn your gaze all the way up to the right hand. Maybe it'll inspire you to reach just a little more, a little higher. And then pull the belly to the spine so you have support from the base, and then return arms out like wings. Good. And then the left hand's going to go to the right knee. You're going to put your hand behind you and create your first spinal twist. Just moving gently into the body, feeling 6 directions of movement. The spine actually moves 6 beautiful ways, and we want to make sure they all feel good. Some of us have been moving more than we ever do because of the online offering. Some of us have been working hard and sitting. Some of us have been binge watching Netflix, right? Sitting still. So we all have to meet ourselves exactly where we are. Let's go ahead and release and come all the way back to center and just gently go around to the other side. It doesn't have to be any drama here, just moving through the body. You want to try to make the action happen from your waistline and keep both sit bones grounded. The foundation of the poses really do matter energetically in terms of what we're doing today. You always want to feel grounded, safe, stable. And releasing, coming back to center. And then just switch the crossings of your legs. We've been there for a little while. Switch to the other foot's in front. And then put your hands onto your knees, and we're going to create a little cat-cow. But we're going to do it seated. So you rock forward, sticking the tailbone out, lifting the chest, and drawing your shoulder blades back. And then the other direction, same thing. Just tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, and stretch all the way back. It looks funny, but it feels great. And then go ahead, do it again. Rock forward. Draw the chest out in front. Draw the shoulder blades back. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. So we just are moving through flexion, extension. We did lateral stretches and rotation, right? So we're just getting the spine moving. And you can do this on your own pace as long as you're doing it with your breath. As you come forward and lift the chest, lift the chin, it's an inhale. And then as you go back, you tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, that's an exhale. Let's do 2 more on our own. Getting used to that feeling of breath and movement. And I love what I see. You guys are moving so beautifully. That's it. Ruthie, I see Yogi on your mat with you. That's it. And then I'm not sure what direction you're facing on your mat, but I was sideways, so I'm just going to roll myself to the side and come into a tabletop pose. And in tabletop, the hands are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. And again, you can just rock a little bit forward and back. This time we're not going to arch and round the spine, but again, create some sense of a connection to your core. So pull the belly into the spine like a tabletop would be. Yeah, where the back is flat. That's it. Thank you for adjusting the cameras. And so we rock a little forward and back, holding on to the stability in the core, and then just hold. Line up those hands under the shoulders, the knees right under the hips. And then right here, I want you to squeeze your hands toward each other just a little bit. Go ahead. I want to kind of get a little closer to the screen so that I can see what you're doing. The hands squeeze, which creates an integration. The hands don't really move, but as they squeeze toward each other, the collarbones widen and the shoulders have a sense of integration. That's it. And then the feet and the knees and the shins, they're going to press a little bit down and out. So we're squeezing in a little bit with the hands, pressing out a little bit with the feet. Good, I can actually see, I can see the integration happening. So we're gonna stop the rocking and we're just gonna hold steady in tabletop and create those two little actions. And then tuck your toes and see if you can hold those actions in a floating tabletop where your knees come right off the mat. They hover only 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, that's it right there. Hands are squeezing in, feet are pressing out, and then take yourself very slowly into your first downward facing dog. Oh yeah, let your body feel that. Feel really good there. You want to make sure that there's big handprints, spreading your fingers and pushing back. Lift your hips as much as you can. And then give yourself a nice break in the right leg. Bend the right knee and stretch a little deeper into your left leg. Just giving yourself a chance to feel. Go ahead, switch sides. So we bend the left, we stretch a little deeper into the right. That's it. And then press both legs back. Here I invite you to lift a little bit in the belly. See if you can get just a little more of a buoyancy in your body. And then come forward into your first plank pose. So go ahead and rock forward into plank pose. And then you can choose to either keep your knees lifted or you could put your knees down, and we're gonna lower down onto the belly. Yep, take it down, point your toes back, and come into Cobra Pose. Cobra is it's a strong and mighty pose. It's small and mighty. So you're gonna stay on the belly. Yep, you're on your belly. I just keep turning because I wanna be able to gaze into the camera. I wanna be able to see in case there's anything that you need from me. So I won't stay on the mat the whole time in practice. That's it. So the legs are long behind you, the hips are on the ground, and there's just this beautiful little bend in the spine. Squeeze your shoulder blades, draw the elbows in, take one more breath, and then exhale, release that, let it go, and come back into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. You guys are moving beautifully. Okay. Let's take one more breath here, just nice and easy. And then as you exhale, look at your hands and you'll walk your feet up to the top of the mat. So the practice we're gonna do this morning is a Vinyasa. So you walk your feet to the top of the mat, bring them together, and then lift only halfway. A halfway lift, fingers can go on the shins, and then exhale, fold in deeply. And on your inhale, you'll rise all the way up to standing. So go ahead and reach the arms up over your head, and then exhale the hands right into the heart. Good. Inhale, arms reach again. I'm gonna change my camera angle just a teeny bit. There we go. Exhale, forward fold. Folding right into the legs. Come halfway up, inhale. And then soften your knees so you can place your hands down and step it back into plank and lower. So you bend your elbows and come all the way down. Inhaling into Cobra Pose. And exhaling back into downward facing dog. Every time we take the shape of a pose, I want you to really tune into the sensations that you're feeling. After 6 weeks of quarantine, our bodies feel different. So go ahead, Gail, make your way into down dog. Yep, perfect. Let your head down. Everybody relax the neck. Give me a little extra energy in the arms. Push back, inhale. And then exhale, look forward and walk your feet right up to the top of the mat. Good, lift halfway, inhale. Hold deeply on the exhale. Inhale, rise all the way to standing. Reach the arms high overhead. Exhale, bring it right into the heart. One more round. Inhale, arms reach, just moving and breathing. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Take it to plank and lower on the exhalation. That's it. Inhaling through Cobra, it's a gentle back bend. Some of you are doing up dog, that's perfect. And then exhale right back into downward facing dog. All right. Find that breath. Let's take the left leg and reach it way up high to the sky. Just stretch it up behind you. Beautifully done. And then hold the shape of your down dog. So we're not going to change the shape. We're not going to move forward. Just pull that knee to the belly. Just feel it pull to the belly. And then shift forward into plank. Continue holding knee to belly. And then look at your hands and go ahead and step that foot forward to your hands. Nice. Yeah, I got dirty looks on that one for sure. So we got left foot forward. Let's put the right knee down and be a little more gentle with ourselves. Sink a little deeper into your hips and then lift your arms up overhead. It's a low crescent lunge. And really, the movement and the breath is really about transforming the energy that we are carrying. So again, I really don't care about the perfection of the pose. I believe that the medicine of the yoga comes from your level of acceptance, breathing, moving, and loving yourself. Let's take one more breath here. I think you can bend the front knee just a touch deeper. Reach your arms just a little higher. And then go ahead and plant both hands back on the mat, and we're gonna shift. So you can just keep your feet where they are, but move your hips back so the left leg straightens. You should be able to see your left foot in front of you, and then just go ahead and point and flex. So you can see the action of the ankle. The toes pull up toward the shin, then they point toward the mat. That's it. And then come into the flexion and hold. That's it. See if you can keep your hips high, keep your chest lifted. And again, just feel. Now I'm going to ask you to take that left foot and dial it out to the left. So the pinky toe comes toward the mat. Just creating another little bit of sensation right there. And then release it right back to the center. You'll soften the left knee, reestablish your lunge, and we come to plank pose. Right toes tuck, the knee lifts so you can step back and lower. Inhaling into cobra, and exhale all the way back to downward facing dog. So we're gonna try that again. Right leg is gonna lift up behind you, and then we hold the shape of the down dog, but we squeeze the knee to the belly. Keep it squeezing as we come to plank, and then step that foot forward to the top of the mat. Left knee can go down. That's it. And you may start to feel your heart rate come up. You might start to feel a little heat. We're going to lift the arms up overhead. The larger muscles of the body are starting to get a little juicy. That's it. So don't be afraid to bend the front knee a touch and lift a little more through your spine. Allow each pose to just be an expression of where you're at. Go ahead, enjoy one more inhale. And then very simply put both hands down on the exhale. We're going to keep our feet like they are, but just start to shift. Straightening the right leg, sending the hips back. It's called Ardha Hanumanasana, which is simply a half split. And it's pretty intense on the hamstring, so I want you to point and flex and just work your way through the tension that you might be feeling in the back of the leg. And we'll do that a couple of times until you feel like you're ready to just hold that flex. So your right leg is straight, your right toes are pulling back, and then see if you can lift your chest and lengthen your spine. There, you guys look amazing. And just pay attention to where those sensations are coming up for you. All of those sensations are just simply information. And you're gathering information as you work your way through the practice. Now we're going to dial the toes out to the right. And again, the sensations might change. I would imagine they did. Anyone feel that differently? You can give me a thumb up. Yeah? Okay. Keep lengthening the spine. And then turn your toes right back up to the center. Soften the front knee, reestablish your lunge, and then tuck your toes, step to plank, and lower. So go ahead, bend the elbows, take it all the way to the belly, inhaling through Cobra, and exhale all the way back to downward facing dog. So we want that breath to continue flowing free. Now, I'd like you to walk your hands toward the back of the mat. So you're going to walk your hands back, open your feet a touch wider, and come down into a malasana, which is like our wide squat at the back of the mat. So the hands move back to the feet. We're going to sit down into a little squat at the back of the mat and press the hands together in prayer. Namaskarasana. If you're having trouble getting your heels down, you can try widening your stance a little bit, and you can also know that it's okay to leave your heels off the floor. What I would like for you to do here is find a connection to the work at the pelvic floor. So that space where your hips are really heavy between the legs, see if you can contract the muscles at the pelvic floor and give yourself a little lift, maybe about an inch. Your hips rise. There we go. So good. Breath is flowing free. We got 2 more breaths to do here. You can do anything for 2 breaths. And then very slowly release your hands. And as your knees straighten, you'll come into a forward fold and you'll start to turn your feet forward again. Let's soften the knees a little bit, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and see if you can slowly articulate your spine so that you come up 1 vertebra at a time. We're going to come up to stand at the back of the mat. That's it. Belly strong the whole way up through that transition. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Hook your thumbs together, spread your fingers out like they are rays of the sun. Now I want you to push a little more into the pinky toe sides of your feet and then start to draw your tailbone down. So sometimes when we lift the arms up, the ribs flare and the booty sticks out, but I want you to draw the tailbone down and draw the ribs in, and we're going to take a little stretch over to the right side. So coming into that side body again. On the inhale, rise back up. Switch the hooking of your thumbs. When the thumbs press against each other, you create this integration, and it helps you to relax the shoulders down. And then we'll take it over to the other side. Again, just an opportunity to feel. Moving through some of the tension. And then inhale, rise back up. Right here, draw the hands to heart, and we'll pause just for a second. I want you to realize, again, the space that you have chosen. The space all around you is your chosen sacred space, and this is where we are retreating. We are retreating together, right? Stepping out of our lives for just a couple of hours to integrate and connect with people from all over the globe. A moment to turn inward, process some of our own experience. These moments in the practice are precious. Now, when you're ready, take a deep breath. Start to reach your arms back up overhead. As you exhale, let's forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, and this time walk your hands forward into your plank pose. So go ahead, walk it out into plank. You'll hold there. Take a moment to organize your body, hands squeezing in, maybe feet pushing out, legs strong, and then take it down nice and slow onto the belly. You're moving beautifully. Inhale into Cobra Pose. Be gentle on the spine. Feel the strength of your muscles in the back body. And then exhale, take it into downward facing dog. Okay. Now, any way you want to, bring that right foot up to the hands. We're going to take our first lunge. So right foot is going to step up to the top of the mat. Please stay on your left toes. And then rise up into a high crescent lunge. Nice. And then we're going to turn open to the left so you become facing the side, and you're in a warrior two stance. So back heel turns flatly. So there you go. And then check out your front foot. Make sure the front foot is actually pointing toward the very front of your mat. And then we're going to pump the warrior. Okay, so we're going to come arms up overhead as you straighten the front knee. And then exhale, come in a little bit deeper. Again, inhale, coming out, a little dynamic movement. Exhale in a little deeper. One more time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, come into the fullest expression here of the warrior two. Grounding the feet. Let's draw in a little from the pelvic floor like we did in that squat. And then reverse the warrior. Left arm drops, right arm rises. And then we come into that side body once again. Now I'm going to ask you for a little drama here because sometimes the yoga can just make our bodies feel amazing. So reach a little more with your right hand. And then if you can catch a little glimpse of the screen, we're going to take the left hand in front of the body, flex at the wrist, and just push forward. There we go. Like you're pushing into the space in front of you. Take one more breath. And then return to warrior two, straighten your front leg, and explore triangle pose. Both legs are straight in triangle pose. We want to make sure that we're keeping the spine long, and just looking for a space in your body that feels amazing. So if there's anything about this that's agitating you, back it off. If you feel like you've got more in you in your regular practice, you go a little deeper and you have other variations, then take them. That's it. Let's draw the tailbone down just a little bit and see if we can go in one little touch deeper. And then the gaze goes to the floor and you'll rise back up into warrior two. Hold there for a breath. And then we're going to take side angle pose. First option would be to put your forearm onto your thigh. Second option would be to take the hand to the inside of the foot. Maria, I like what you're doing there, but I want you to draw your tailbone down a little and then try not to shrug into your shoulder, but if you push down into your elbow, your chest will rise. Yeah, there you go. That's so nice. Now turn the left palm forward, reach the bicep over the ear, and see if you can feel the space in your side waist. So the tailbone draws down, you ground the pinky toe of your left foot, and you really reach through your left fingers. Nicely done, everyone. Return to warrior two on an inhale, and then flow it out on the exhale. Both hands go down. You're going to step back to plank and lower. Inhaling through cobra and exhaling into down dog, just like all of the other vinyasa. So believe it or not, down dog could be your resting pose. And this is where we catch our breath. This is where we really catch our breath. We're going to prepare mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, every part of us, so that we come fully into the other side, right? Left foot's going to step up to the hands. Stay on your right toes and rise up into your high crescent lunge. When you're ready, you just turn open to the side, pivot the back foot flat, and here we are into warrior two. And I know that the action in that left hip can be extreme for some of us, so we're going to go in with a few gentle pumping warriors. Inhaling, reach the arms. Exhale, bend the knees. Yeah, there you go. Again, inhale, reach the arms, straighten the front leg, pull the belly in. Exhale, try it again, a little deeper. Again, inhale, arms reach. Third one, we're going to hold. So we bend the knee, we hold. Be gentle with yourself. There are little micro adjustments that you could make. Keep your stance nice and long, maybe drawing the tailbone down at a little lift in the pelvic floor. And if you're feeling pretty steady here, sustainable, let's reverse it. Right arm down, left arm up. Reach up through that side waist. You can stay where you are. Some people like to wrap the arm behind the back. I like that feeling of pushing forward right in front of the body. So we got a push and a pull. We sink and we rise. We manage all of the dualities of the practice. Take one more breath. And then return to your warrior two. Gracefully straighten the front leg, pause, and breathe. Our next pose is triangle. And this one you have lots of time, lots of room to explore. The left hand can simply rest on the shin. You want to make sure that you're not rounding forward. You want to just try to elongate. It's that lateral movement in the spine. There's so much that we do every day that make us bend forward and back, but reaching and lengthening into the side body is something that doesn't happen in our normal everyday movement. So let your body just appreciate the opportunity to touch, to feel. That's it. Maybe the tailbone can draw down, readjusting a little bit in the pelvis, and then you might be able to slide in just a touch deeper. We're going to dig a little bit into our strength. Ground into the feet, look down at your left foot, and then rise on an inhale to warrior two. So good. Our next pose is side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. And you can totally rest your left forearm onto your left thigh, but really think about your alignment in the pelvis, in the side body. Sometimes booty sticks out, chest leans forward. See if we can align that. Yeah. So our energy flows properly, effectively. You can also take the hand to the floor if you're feeling like you want to go a little deeper. And then the bicep goes over the ear. There's a grounding of the right pinky toe and a reaching through the right pinky finger and everything in between, expanding, breathing. Give it one more breath. You guys look amazing. And then let's just return with some grace. On an inhale, warrior two. And then the exhale takes you through your flow. Both hands go to the floor. Step back lightly and lower down slowly. Inhale for cobra. And then exhale, take it back into downward facing dog. All right, take a moment here. You can already start to feel there's heat, there's breath, there's transformation happening. The yoga is already at work. We're going to return to the low lunge. So let's take the right foot forward to the hands and let's put the left knee down. Good. Keep your left hand on the floor and place your right hand on your knee. And let's take a twist here together. So left hand stays on the ground and we turn the chest open. There you go, Edna. Beautiful. Just feel. We all have different little places that light up as we change the shape of the body. Just see if you can gather the information. Now we're going to keep the left hand on the ground, but let's reach the right arm up into the air. And then see if you can bend your left knee behind you. Some of you might be able to reach back with your right hand and grab a hold of the foot. It's optional, not necessary. We're not going to stay very long. Let's lift the head, lift the chest. So there's an elongation of the spine as we recreate that rotation. And then let go of the foot if you're holding it. Bring both hands to the inside of your right foot and then wiggle the right foot a little wider to the edge of the mat. Good. Now, I want you to keep the heel grounded. You can keep the heel right where it is, but turn the right toes out slightly. So you're getting almost a 45-degree angle on that right foot, and then let your knee drop open. So the front knee is bent, and it's dropping open wide to the side. Feels similar to that deep squat. That's it. You can stay on your hands. Some of you might even wish to drop into your forearms. Whatever variation you choose to do, just make sure you're doing it with some level of sensitivity to what you're feeling in your body. We don't come to the mat to tear ourselves apart. We come to the mat to renew, to rejuvenate, to awaken and enliven. Touch the places that might not have been touched if we sat on the couch or at the computer. We make ourselves feel a little more vibrant and alive. On your next inhale, walk back up onto your hands, turn that right foot forward, bring the knee in alignment with the foot, and then we're going to step right into a down dog. So tuck your left toes, lift your right leg, and step it back and hold. Right there, take a moment to feel. Just like feel your body. The sensations dissipate. There's sometimes a rush of heat. There's sometimes a coolness. Sometimes it feels like an ooh, and sometimes it feels like an ah. So take a deep breath here and just make a sound. Just like express whatever it might be. Ah. When you're ready, let's just play with the other side. So the same thing, left foot steps forward, right knee goes down. Try to keep that nice and simple. And then we'll keep the right hand on the floor, put the left hand on the knee so that we can create that really nice spinal twist. It feels almost like your left knee is moving in toward your chest and your chest is moving toward your knee. And you feel the actions happening in your waistline. Those are great detoxification moves. And just take care of yourself. That's it. And if you feel ready and you want to, there's always the option to take that left hand up high into the air. And if all of that feels pretty good, you might just try bending the back knee. Sometimes it works out well, sometimes not so much. And if you want to, you grab your foot. And again, just give yourself a chance to feel here. This is not about any kind of twisting up into a pretzel. It's about maintaining some level of equanimity, a steadiness of the breath, a mindfulness of the sensations. You can't think about anything else but how much longer I'm going to keep you here or how uncomfortable you are. My advice would be to just let it go and go to a place that feels sustainable. And if we do the practice on a regular basis over a long period of time, you'll see that your body starts to change. So we don't need it all today. Let's release that foot, bring both hands down into the inside of your left foot, and then widen your stance. Just take the foot out a little bit wider. Left foot goes toward the left edge of the mat. Left toes turn out a little bit more, and then the knee can drop open. And again, you're going to have to navigate your own body. And what yoga teaches us is that we become like the scientist and our body becomes the lab. And right now you're putting your hip under the microscope. Take some time to pay attention, to be sensitive and to feel. We're going to take 2 more breaths. Because again, in life, you can do anything for 2 breaths. And then with some grace, go ahead and bring your knee back up, bring your toes forward. We're going to tuck the right toes and step right into downward facing dog. So just a big step back and a moment to feel. We'll just stay right there with the head hanging free. And then our body should be pretty ready to take that right foot forward into Pigeon Pose. So we're going to step the right foot forward, The right foot walks over toward the left side of the mat, maybe a little closer to you, and then the knee and shin come down, and the left leg is straight out behind you. And I love how some of you are upright, some of you laid right down in there. Go ahead and take whatever expression is calling you right now. And we're going to stay. That's it, we're going to stay. Happens when we find ourselves in a mildly uncomfortable situation, like 6 weeks of quarantine. Like, what happens to our psyche? What is the inner dialogue? And we shift our attention to something purposeful. And we switch our attention to our inner experience. And know that as we cultivate the tools to change our inner experience, the circumstances of the outer world don't have as big an effect on us. So I applaud you for choosing to retreat. I applaud you for having the wherewithal and the intuition to know that you need to take care of yourself, treat yourself. Connect with other people and get quiet on your own. All of the things that make us feel like ourselves. And again, we're just going to take 2 more breaths. As you're ready, you start to walk back up onto your hands. You're going to tuck the back toes under, start to lift your hips, and very slowly, very sensitively, step right back into plank pose. Yeah, so we neutralize the hips. The tailbone draws down. Find your breath. And on your next exhale, lower down slowly to the belly. Good. Inhale for Cobra Pose. It's gentle. And then exhale right back into downward facing dog. Nice. I just want to take a look at the playlist. I think I'm just going to move it forward to something a little quieter. Yeah. And then we'll play pigeon on the other side. Don't take it too seriously. Bring your left foot forward. Shift the left foot over toward the right side. It could even come closer to you. The knee and shin come down, and you're going to take it in any variation that you like. I know we all have different levels of practice. Some of us are teachers, some of us are new. So if you need to stay on your forearms, do it. If you want to lay down and twist, you can do it. And of course, you would only do that if you've done it in your practice before. Nice, Christine. So do what you need to do to take care of yourself. That's really, truly what this is about. I keep having this feeling that it's okay to not be okay. And then I also, in the same moment, feel like it's totally okay to be okay. There is no right or wrong way to be in this situation. What we really have to learn to do, and what I really get from my yoga, is that it's okay to be however I am. And so usually on the mat is the really one place that shows itself to me. The mat for me is a place of truth, a place of honor. So don't be afraid to meet yourself exactly where you are, and don't judge. Just feel. Open your consciousness and your awareness without any kind of judging. We don't want to be the critic. We don't want to be the judge. We want to be the observer. coming to those last two breaths. As you complete that last and final breath here, you find your way back onto your hands. And we've done plenty of vinyasa, so you should be able to find the integration of the movements. Let's tuck the back toes, lift our hips enough to step into plank pose. Just cultivate the strength right here. It's probably your last vinyasa. On your exhale, lower slowly. Inhale into cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Touch your down dog for one last time today. And then bring yourself into a seated position. You can do it any way you want. Drop to your knees, swing your feet around. Some of you can jump through your hands. It doesn't really matter. So you're facing forward on the mat with your feet on the ground. And again, I want you to feel that feeling of pressing the feet down, but also drawing them back. So the hamstrings squeeze a little bit. We spend a lot of time in yoga trying to stretch those hamstrings, but I think we forget that sometimes they need strength. Our yoga practice was designed to create a balance in the body. So the feet press down, but they also squeeze back. And that'll help you sit up a little straighter. And then the arms come forward. That's it. Try to keep the spine straight for one breath. And then on the exhale, draw the belly to the spine, tuck your tailbone, and start to roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. Go ahead, take it all the way down till you're laying flat. And I want you to open your feet out to the width of the mat. Bend your knees. We call it conscious resting pose. Put your left hand on your heart. Put your right hand on your belly. And let your knees drop in toward each other. See if you can find a way to have that feel really soothing to your lower back. So you're laying flat with your knees bent. You okay, Elise? Yeah. Okay. Start to feel your heartbeat. Start to notice your breath. We're going to start to make a transition away from the movement and gracefully ease our way into the stillness. And what's more important here than the articulations of the movements is a sensitivity. So go ahead now. We're going to lift our feet and draw our knees right up into the belly. You can give it a little squeeze and then open your arms out like a T. We did it earlier. The arms go out wide and then your knees are going to roll over to one side. Think of it as a really gentle wringing out. All that heat that we built in the standing poses, you can feel it dissipating from your body right now. See if there's anywhere in you that feels like it's clenching or gripping. So we don't want to hold the tension. We come to the mat to be able to recognize it and to release it and let it go. Take one last breath here. And then slowly draw yourself back to center. Let's take it over to the other side. And so if you did any kind of special variation on the first side, you can take it on the second side as well. But see if you can change the mentality and not try so hard. Not worry about the physical form, but instead start to introduce yourself to your energy body. Maybe for once we don't care if the knees are in the same alignment. We think more about how the breath feels moving through the spine than how equal the rotation is. And if we shed some of the armor, if we stop worrying about the clenching and the gripping, we actually will feel some of what we've been carrying. We'll feel it start to release. My belief is if we can find ways to rinse and release all throughout this process, and when this whole crazy thing is over, we won't carry it for decades. We'll have already worked through so much. So think of every breath, every movement as an opportunity to heal and rebalance. Now you're going to make your way right back to the center. You can give your knees one squeeze if they need it, and then just find your way into Shavasana. We're going to take a short and sweet moment here in just complete stillness. Just let your body go. Some of you still have one more movement that you want. It's like you know what you need, and so I'm inspired by your knowing. In this moment, just let go. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Somehow our Shavasana just never seems to be long enough. So I want you to let it linger as you start to awaken. Don't jump up. We have a really beautiful agenda ahead of us. We're going to ease our way from the practice into our opportunity to spend some time with Sonia. So I want you to start to maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. There's no right or wrong way to awaken, but know that this is a transition from one session into the next. So I want you to honor yourself. And eventually, in your own way and in your own time, you just come back into a seated position just like we began. And traditionally, we close the practice with the Sacred Sound of Ohm. So I'd like you to bring your hands together at your heart. Feel them draw down a little lower so they're not in front of your face or your throat, but bring them down in front of the heart and give them a gentle little press. Together, let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Om peace, peace, perfect peace. May this retreat experience be a source of peace for us. May our time on the mat always serve us in all of the different ways in which we need it from day to day. May our experience of exploring the world together through Zoom bring us joy and hope for the future. And may we always remember how much we really do need each other. Namaste. Now, if I may take a moment to talk about my friend Sonia, I'm going to help us make a transition from the yoga into her presentation. And I want to just tell you a little bit about what I know about her. I was blessed to spend a week there on retreat with a group a year ago, September. Right, we were there. Dawn helped me arrange it. And I knew that the property looked amazing online and that it would suit my needs. And it had this really beautiful yoga space. And we had a very beautiful itinerary scheduled. And so I had no hesitation about going and creating experience there. The one thing that I did not realize was the magnificence of Sonia's heart and love and hospitality. So from the moment we arrived, her and her whole team just took the most beautiful care of us. And there were so many special extra little things that we got to experience, like walking the property and picking figs and just eating them off the trees. And she's going to share with you the experience of the macrobiotic eating that we all did for the week, and what a huge and profound change that had in every single one of us that were on the trip. And so I'm so happy that you're going to get to like just even taste a little bit of her and her property today in this experience. And my hope for all of you is that at some point on your journey on this earth, that you somehow make your way to Masqi, because it has been a very special and memorable experience in my life, and I hope to return one soon. So I will turn over. I'm going to lose my mic, and I am going to become a participant. And so looking forward to getting to spend this hour with you. Mwah.
Thank you, Leslie. I mean, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Well, it's been great to share this day with you, with all of you today. Thank you, Dawn, also for the invitation. And yeah, for me, well, my project is my house for the last 20 years. And I think like every personal project has a deep meaning for me. And it's not only a business, it's something that I really love, and it's sharing my passions. And thanks to a crisis I had many years ago, I found yoga. And after yoga, other things came, like meditation, like macrobiotics. And while my health became much better, I could say that I found somehow how to enjoy life more. And well, today I want to share with you a little bit of my place. Well, you can see the mountains behind me. Just behind that mountains, we have Alicante, we have the Mediterranean Sea. And so we are in the southeast of Spain. Normally it's very sunny here, but today, as you see, we have it cloudy, and it seems tomorrow we're going to have some storms. But anyway, it's quite nice, and the nature also with the lockdown becomes like new, something, a different energy here. Even the wild animals you can see them. I mean, the wild pigs and eagles. And I mean, I take just short walks around the property, and it's amazing how everything feels like different, because nobody's here at the moment. So this place is quite special. That's why the name, the Energy House. Apart that everything that we offer is quite energetic, because that was my research when I was in that crisis and I was not feeling well. I was feeling how I was losing my energy. So everything I was looking for is how to have more energy. So macrobiotic is a way of eating, having a lot of energy. So for today, I have prepared 11 tips to also improve our immune system, that now with all this situation we have, I think everybody's quite interesting to know how to do it and how to do it in a natural way. And for sure, this is something useful not only now. I mean, for me, this is the basis of my lifestyle. And so this is what I have prepared in my little kitchen. And I'm going to show you also some of the ingredients and try to do it as well easy and understandable as possible. I'm sorry that my English is not, I mean, it's not my mother tongue. So maybe if you have any question afterwards, you tell me. Thank you. So I don't know if Dan wants to play a little video, and then I move to the kitchen.
Yes, I'm going to play just a 2-minute video of the property so you can really get a beautiful view of that. So I'll turn that on now while Sonia moves into the kitchen.
Super, thank you.
All right. Okay, can everyone see Sonia?
Okay, super, good, yes?
It's like the quiet and the
Yes,
video just
we can hear.
shows just the beauty and the peace and the serenity.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I would love to take the phone and go for a walk with you. So you will like it. You will like it. And today is super calm here. Well, today my idea is to give you more or less what we try to promote in Masqi. For me, my purpose is to help the people to learn a healthier lifestyle. So macrobiotic is a very, very strong pillar in my business. But if I have to start with these 11 tips to increase the immune system, the number one is going to be yoga. So you just practice already. And well, for me, in my own experience, yoga was what started to change my life. And this was just 10 years ago. And I really recommend it to everybody. So for me, if we want to feel better and if we want to feel strong and have a good immune system, yoga has to be there. And also meditation. I started with meditation later. I mean, I started with yoga and the short meditations during the classes, and the meditation took me more time. But nowadays, meditation is a very, very important part of my lifestyle and what I try to sell to everybody. I'm always talking about meditation, meditation, meditation. At the end, we need more and more to connect with ourselves because we are so disconnected. I mean, our life is doing us to be completely outside all the time, doing things all the time, you know, about how are the relations with others and taking care of everything but us. And it's so important how we feel well with ourselves. I think this is the key for the health. And of course, we can arrive to this path through different ways. Yoga is one, meditation, even eating in a consciously is also a way to arrive to yourself. But at the end is that the main objective. And I think that this lockdown, it's an amazing opportunity to practice all these things that sometimes we don't have the time, or, you know, we are like, well, yes, I tried when I'm older, or I think it's a great opportunity, and I really motivate yourself to look for some meditations. We have a few also in our website, but I mean, today everybody is offering meditations, and just even sitting and counting till 10 breaths, 10 deep breaths can be a practice itself and really changes. So this as a basis, then we start with the food. And it's interesting, when I started to learn macrobiotics 5 years ago, I found a number that food is only 5% of the total health. But this 5% is the most important 5%. There is a concept, well, I saw at the beginning that there was a doctor. If I don't say something very proper, you please tell us. But there is a concept called homeostasis. I think in English is the same. And somehow when the homeostasis is working, that means that our body, it's like balance itself, and somehow it's able to, well, for example, to be strong to resist a situation like now with a virus, or it's able to heal itself, or to start the processes of self-healing during, you know, all the processes of stress of our life. So this homeostasis can happen when we eat well. And nowadays, it's important, I mean, how the way we eat can make us that our health is not good enough. And that's why a lot of people is suffering with this virus. There's a lot of problems of, I'm sorry, I'm missing some words this afternoon, but inflammatory processes in our body that doesn't help for being strong for situations like today. So one of the main products, I think the king one, is miso. Okay, miso, it's a fermented product. There are different kind of misos. I suppose that you know miso, but miso is a paste. It's very brown, dark color. Well, in fact, there are different kinds of misos, but the normal ones are muji. For example, for a warm place like yours, muji would be good one. And this fermented product is amazing for our health. It has a lot of properties that I'm going to read because there are so many. It protects our cells against infections. It helps to digest food. It's also a natural disintoxication of the body. prevents cholesterol, decreases the effects of the menopause. It's also a high anti-aging and and prevents cardiovascular diseases, and also reduces the developing of certain types of cancer. It prevents hypertension, attenuates the symptoms of allergies. It's an amazing source of protein, and also helps to maintain a younger looking skin and reduces wrinkles. So a lot of benefits. And it's something very, very easy to cook. So easy that we're going to do it in just 5 minutes or less. So when I prepare miso soup, I really prepare a good quantity, because this is something I always have in my fridge. The idea is that you can keep it in your fridge for 3 or 4 days without any problem. And then when you are going to eat it, you heat just the portion you need. But you have a big amount of soup in your fridge. So you can use or olive oil or sesame oil. This I'm using now is olive oil, but with sesame oil would be more the original one. But okay, I have organic olive oil here from my trees that I'm seeing from here. And it's an option, okay? And then normally we use 3 ingredients, 4. One is onion. So always the onion is there. With the onion, we always use just some salt, just an amount like this, because the onion with the salt is going to soften and is going to have a kind of, it's going to take the water out of the onion, and it's going to be better to cook it. So just a little bit with the onion there. And then normally it's having 1 root. In this case, I have the carrots and something green. In this case, I'm using cabbage. It's not very green, this one. It's quite white, but also with, for example, kale. I don't know if you say kale. Kale, it's a good option. Any green leaves is going to be very good. So simple like this. We could add other things, whatever you have in your fridge, it's going to be okay. This is like something very basic, and it's so easy. For example, when you want to do a detox at home, I do it, for example, for dinner, many times, just a miso soup for dinner. And then it's something light, something complete. And then we have the seaweeds, okay, wakame. So the wakame, I just put it in water, like 20 minutes ago. So it's soft enough to cut it now. And that's it, nothing else. So it's something really, really, really basic, easy. And here in Masqi, for example, we offer miso soup for breakfast. And I know that sometimes it's not very, we are not used to have a soup in the morning. I don't know. But anyway, it's amazing to try it. And it's amazing, the good feeling. And then I will just add the water. As you see, I'm using a big recipient, casserole or pot. Because of that, what I was telling you, I'm always cooking every week, and I cook quite a lot. Okay, so this, we just have to leave it 20 minutes. Okay, so it's an easy recipe. I think there was something here in the chat. I don't know if it was for me or not. Okay.
I was just saying that we will give everyone the recipe in the follow-up
Yes.
email. And
Yes.
yeah, so we're seeing, yes, definitely want the recipe. So, because I definitely want the recipe as well. It seems so simple, but yet it was always so foreign for me to know.
Yeah, and it's good to have it as a reminder. So then you have now the inspiration, and with the recipe, you do it. And then something very important to know with the miso. I mean, as I was explaining, the miso is a ferment. If you boil it, you kill it. You kill all the bacteria that are there. So we want to keep them alive. So first of all, it's very important that when you buy the miso, you have to read that it's not pasteurized.
Okay.
Okay? Very important. If it's pasteurized or if it's frozen, it doesn't work. You are going to have the taste, but you're not going to have the properties. And this is something medicinal. This is something, it's very important that it's like that. And how we have to do it then. So imagine I cook this big pot, but then when I'm going to eat it, I have only this portion, okay? This small one. I just heat it a bit before we started. So this is the portion of miso soup I'm going to take, for example, for me and my son that is over there. And then for 2 people, the amount of miso can be something like this, okay? And as this is a paste, what I use, I don't know how you say it in English.
The strainer.
Okay, so what I do is I put it inside the soup, and then it's just to dilute it. I don't know how to say it, okay? Because if not, it's very difficult because the paste is stick to the spoon and it's very difficult to take it out. So I'm doing it like that, as you see. Well, and then once it's salt, I just threw it everything here in the soup. And it's ready to eat in a nice bowl. Okay? So I recommend miso soup in this moment every day. And can be breakfast, can be for lunch. For example, if you have a quick lunch, sometimes, I don't know, for you, Leslie, you have to go to teach some classes, you don't want to eat too much, then you have a miso. And for example, if you want to have it something a little bit more filling, then you could cook some soba spaghetti, for example, the pasta, and then you could add some of them in the soup. And then this is going to be something a little bit more strong. Or even if you have it for breakfast and you're going to, to exercise and all that, then maybe with this can be nice. And for example, with the miso soup, when it's very hot, sometimes in your weather it's going to be very hot and maybe you feel like, well, having a soup is, then what you have to do is to cut a slice of lemon, just a round slice of lemon, and you just put it on top. This is going to give a cooler effect on the soup. So for your weather, it's going to be a good option. So this about the miso, okay? I don't know if you have any question. How much miso? I think I answered you more or less with the.
Is there a possibility of having too much miso? Like if you're having miso every day, the soybeans and all of that. I mean, that's my curiosity.
Yeah, well, we have to know that miso is yang. Miso is very salty, okay? So we don't want, for example, for someone having hypertension, someone being very tense, very stressed, we don't want this person to have miso twice a day, for example. We have to take care also with the amount of miso, okay? For example, someone that is vegetarian, that normally is having a lot of yin things, somehow is going to need something more yang to compensate, because somehow this yin yang energies is it's going to bring us the balance. So for example, miso soup is something very balanced itself, because it's having the vegetables, it's having the water that are yin, and then it's having the miso itself that is yang. And then together it's doing something really, really balanced. Okay. So I would suggest just for normal people, having once a day is going to be good. Even, for example, my father is having hypertension, but I recommend him to have miso once a day, because also it's having a detoxifying effect. For example, for the people that is eating a lot of meat, it's going to be very good also to clean the body. Also for someone that has, for example, has had an operation or was sick and was having some medicines, after a treatment, the intestines are all, you lose all the biota, I don't know how you call it. So miso is going to help you to find the balance again. So it's going to, it's really, really a medicine. Mm-hmm. But we have to take care not to do it too strong. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then we continue. The number 4, so we have yoga, meditation, miso soup, this every day. Then number 4 would be the whole grains. And I don't know in your country, I don't know how much grains you are eating. It's true that now it's more fashionable, and now with all this vegan culture, other whole grains are coming to life. So I recommend them a lot. We have to understand that the grains are the ingredient that are giving us the energy. So I was telling you at the beginning, when my crisis, I was like feeling without energy. And a lot of people feel that. For example, a lot of people get up in the morning and the first thing, they need to drink a coffee because they don't have the energy. So when we feel like this, what we are missing are whole grains. Okay. And there are many. I have prepared just to show you a bit. Well, this is the brown rice. That's super normal. And for me, an amazing way to eat it is in a porridge. So instead of an oat porridge, to do brown rice with Kombu Seaweed. This is the Kombu Seaweed. And all the seaweeds have a lot of minerals. So when I cook, for example, the rice for breakfast, I do the same as the miso soup. I cook at least a quantity for 3-4 days. And I need just to cut a little piece like this, like a stump, the size of a stump of Kombu seaweed. And I cook it with the rice. The amount of water is 5 units of water per 1 of rice. So the result is what we call cream of rice. So it's like a rice that is quite soft. And also it's having the energy of the heat, of the fire. This heat is going to give you also the yang energy. It's going to give you the energy to materialize our dreams. When we, for example, for the people that is vegetarian, sometimes, I've been myself during a certain period of time, I was eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. And somehow when you are eating a lot of yin, you dream a lot, you have a lot of ideas, but it's difficult to somehow make them come true. To really materialize your ideas. And the yang, like the yang coming from the cereals, is giving you this. It's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So it gives you the courage to do it. So very important. For example, other grains, this is rice. It's called nerone. It's a very black one. Oops. This one, I use it more as a side dish. Like, I don't know if I have to cook some For example, white fish is nice. I mean, as a combination in the dish. Also quinoa, this one I'm showing you is red quinoa. You have red and white, and you have also mixed. For example, quinoa is a very nice grain also for a porridge for now, for spring and summer. You could do it alone, only quinoa, the same way with water and the kombu seaweed. You could mix it with rice, for example. Can be also a nice thing. Millet. Millet is amazing. And all these grains are, for example, quinoa, millet, you have done them just in 20 minutes, they are cooked. And well, there are many, many beautiful recipes that you can do with them. And as I tell you, is take in count that this is the ingredients that are giving you the energy. So the strength is coming from them. And this is buckwheat. That is also quite amazing cereal. For example, we do here in Masqi, we do some crepes. And you don't have to cook the buckwheat. You just put the buckwheat with water and you keep it like an hour. And then you, in a blender, you just mix it with the water. And then this paste, you just bring it to the pan and you do a crepe. But it's not done with flour. So it's going to have the energy of a whole grain. It's going to be better. Yes? Okay, number 5, the legumes, the pulses. Well, this is I would say, the best protein. When we talk about yin and yang, everything that is very young is going to be like tensing yourself, is going to be more, it's going to produce somehow more stress in your body. Something that is yin is more relaxed, is more calm. So the legumes, the pulses, are the calmest protein we can have. And I always explain, if you go, for example, to, I don't know, to Thailand or to India, and you meet some monks there, you see how they are, they smile, they are peaceful, they are calm. And I always say, this is the energy of the chickpea. And it's true, you know, the chickpea, it's a plant, you know, it's just hanging there with the sun, with the stars, the wind, you know. Pulses have all the energy of the earth, the energy of this universe, but it's completely peaceful. If you compare it with, for example, the aggressivity that is giving us to eat meat. When we eat animals, we are eating other things. Also the emotions, somehow we become, even ourselves, more aggressive. I don't know if you know that concept. I'm not against eating meat, but what I want to show you is that including these beings in our life, it's going to be richer and also calmer. And today we need that. And I wanted to show you, because, well, I brought some, just I had here, just like lentils. Also the red lentils are very good, for example, to prepare a dal. And dal is also very detoxifying, and it's super quick to cook. Just with some, well, I love to prepare it with some curry, and then I add some coconut milk at the end, and it's super tasteful and it's very nice. But I wanted to show you here the black soya. I don't know if you know this. This is more special. You see, it's really, really black. And this is, well, it's very good for women, for the energy of women in general, for all our organs, for the fertility, for regulating all our hormones and all that. and also are very good for the kidneys. So this is good for everybody at home, men and women. For all the Chinese medicine, the kidneys are really the organ where we keep our strength. You know, when this I know is everywhere. For example, when someone that is having the courage to do things, to, you know, to start new projects and to do something like brave, you say this person have a couple of something, okay? But the truth is that that person is having a good couple of kidneys. So when someone is doing a lot of things and it's, you know, have the courage and is active, and all this strength is coming from the kidneys. So that's why when people become older, everybody suffers from the kidneys, because somehow we lose our energy and we lose the heat also from there. So it's important that our kidneys are warm and that we nurture them. And for example, all the beans are going to nurture our kidneys. In fact, if you see the shape of a bean, it's like a kidney, okay? So we also in macrobiotic, they say when it looks like this, it looks like an organ. It's like the nuts, the one that looks like a brain, okay? It's like there is a correlation between some ingredients and the organ that are strengthening. So if you are vegan, the idea is that you eat legumes and pulses every day. If not, you're going to need to eat also tofu or tempeh or seitan, that are a very good source of protein. And also in macrobiotic, for example, we also eat some fish, not a lot, but some. And always the less young, the better. It's like, for example, if you can imagine the energy of a clam, or the energy of a mussel, sorry, it's going to be all these animals that are, you know, like just filtering water. The energy of these animals is going to be calmer than, for example, a tuna. A tuna is more young, it's more similar to meat. So just for you to understand a little bit. So it's like, as you see the animal or as you see the ingredients, how peaceful you see this animal is living, is the energy it's giving you. Okay. Number six would be the vegetables. And of course, they are super important. And I always like to introduce the concept of seasonal, because nowadays you find everything in the supermarket. But we have to try to follow the nature, because it's not, even living in warm countries like you do, the vegetables have a season. It's like, for example, tomatoes. Normally they are a summer ingredient, but nowadays you find them every month. But the idea would be to eat tomatoes when is the time of the tomatoes, and in general with everything. We can Google, so you can learn which is the time for each vegetable. Somehow it's like trying to connect with nature. Nature is so intelligent, and also our body. So nature helps us to adapt ourselves to the conditions of weather, the conditions in general of the seasons. It's like we are not in the same mood also in winter or summer. So trying to adapt or to follow more nature is going to help us to be better adapted. Well, number 7, we leave the kitchen for a while. And I'm going to talk about the hours of sleep. And look, this is so important. And, you know, normally we sleep just the minimum, but we need to rest. And now, for example, that the situation is strong, that our immune system has to be strong, it's very, very important to sleep enough amount of hours. And the best would be to try to sleep 8 hours, or at least as close to 8 as possible. And I think this lockdown can be a nice time to rest a bit more than normal, because normally our life, I mean, we are like accelerated all the time, always running. So it's when you take the opportunity to stop, I don't know if you felt it, but then you feel like, wow, super tired. What's that? I'm resting more and I'm feeling very tired. And it's like somehow you are doing a deep rest. So this is also something to take in count. And also with the timetables. I mean, if you read the yoga books, well, the best would be to go to bed once it's becoming dark and getting up very soon when it's the sunrise. And well, at the end is also not doing that exactly. I mean, we live, it's not easy to do that, but at least to try not to, you know, sometimes we go to bed after midnight just because we are watching TV or reading, or is trying to adapt our timetables to something healthier, because there are some processes that are done during the night that are going to also help us to be healthier. And if you are not in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, for example, you have lost some processes that are helping to you to recover your body, to somehow detoxify it. And well, something quite easy, ventilate your house. Yes, opening the windows and having some fresh air in the house, well, it's something nice. And now that we are a lot of time at home, is very nice when you feel that all the air is clean, and also the pollution is less outside. So it's time to open and to renovate the air in our houses. And then I'm going to give the 3 last ones, are more like remedies to, well, what we would consider more remedies for this immune system. And one of this is drinking some infusions, drinking some teas made of some plants that can have a very powerful power in yourself to increase that immune system. There is one, Artemis annua. I don't know if you have heard about this plant. This is not very common. Artemis annua. It's very, very, very powerful. In fact, there are many medicines made out of this plant, but it seems that the plant itself is more powerful than the medicines made of it. It's very strong. It's not so easy to find. But imagine in the case that someone is having the coronavirus, with this plant, really improves a lot. I don't know there if it's difficult to find now. Here, it's starting to be difficult to find because a lot of people is buying it. And also other ones more common like thyme or rosemary or sage or eucalyptus, all of them are antiviral. And drinking 2 or 3 cups a day of them, I mean, not 2 or 3 of each of them, but I mean, having 2 or 3 of them is going to help you for the immune system. Another possibility to strengthen the immune system could be one of these 2, either have 1 gram of vitamin C every day, or having propolis. Propolis is also a very, very powerful, I was going to say ingredient, but it's something powerful to have at home. In fact, I've been taking care of my son with propolis since he was a child. I mean, it's a kind of natural antibiotic. So whenever here at home we feel like we are having a cold, you know, this day that you feel like pain in your back, you are like a little bit like this, that you feel, oh my God, maybe I have sore throat or something, then having propolis is like normally 1 milliliter, 10 milliliters, no, 1 milliliter. It's like 10 drops in a glass of water. It's called tincture. Well, it's a liquid. It's in drops. Okay, so you can mix it with some water, like 10 drops of it, and then this helps you to, for example, now it will help you to, well, to be stronger. And the last one, and not because of it's the last one is the less important, I think it's amazing to know these ingredients, is the umeboshi plums. I don't know, you have seen them. Do you see? This is a Japanese plum that is also fermented. It's fermented with shiro. It's leaves. And these plums are salty. It's also fermented. The idea is to have half a plum every day. But this is not something to do it always, okay? This can be, for example, if we want to do it now because of the situation, because this is really preventing the contagious. I mean, well, it seems that the virus itself doesn't survive. What the virus needs is to go into a cell and then somehow is living from this cell. But if the tissue, sorry, but if the cell itself is strong enough, I mean, the tissue is strong enough, the virus cannot come in. And that's what we want to try, for example, with this. So having half a plum every day is going to keep your body alkaline. There are a lot of concepts that we could go deeper in detail. I mean, when our body is very acidic is when somehow sickness is possible to come into my body. If we eat quite alkaline and our body is more balanced, then it's more difficult for a disease to arrive or to survive in your body. At the end, everything is about yin yang. It's like, for me, sickness somehow is a kind of a balance arriving to a body that is out of balance. So it's the way we get the balance. When someone is really healthy, there is no space for a sickness to come. So at the end, it's not like a lottery. It's not that, I was there and then I'm sick. It's not like that. Our lifestyle is a lot. And now, for example, this special process we are seeing nowadays, we can understand that the way we eat and the way we live, it's the key for having, well, more possibilities to be healthier. And look, all the advantages of the umeboshi is anti-inflammatory, removes heartburn in the stomach, prevents colds, removes toxins, improves the skin, regulates glucose metabolism, eliminates digestive gases, prevents anemia, is a good tonic for the liver, and helps eliminate excess of alcohol in the body. Many things. So these are the 11 tips, and there are a few more, and the other few would be what to avoid. And we have to avoid to eat excessive quantities. That's very, very important. When we eat too much, this is not healthy at all. Also to avoid eating products made of refined flours, the white bread and croissant and things like this. Just because of that, just because of being made of refined products are not healthy at all. The amount of sugar, well, sugar in general, to take care with the amount of meat and dairy products. So this would be more or less what I wanted to explain you today. I don't know if there are some questions.
We do have a few questions there, Sonia, and we're a small group here too, so you can unmute your microphone if you'd like, but Sonia, can you read those questions or do you want me to read them to you?
Well, I can read them from here.
Okay.
Maybe you read them to me because I don't know where is it. So
somebody's asking if you can spell the T that you were speaking about.
Yeah, Artemis, A-R-T.
Hold on, I'll put it in here.
It's in the tips you are going to send everybody.
Okay, I'm going to send that right now then too, the tips.
It's A-R-T-E-M-I-S, Artemis, Anua, A-N-U-A.
Okay, so I've just shared, Sonia's put together this really beautiful document, and it goes through everything that she spoke about today, but that would be spelled there then as well.
Yeah, it's in there in the infusions is the first one.
Yes. And then Kuntal is there online. Kuntal, would you like to unmute your microphone and share what you were saying here in the chat? It would be much better coming from you than from me. Where's Kuntal? I can unmute him.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
I can hear
you.
Kuntal is an Ayurvedic chef, and he's over in Costa Rica.
Wow.
So joining us from Costa Rica.
Nice to meet you.
Same here. So one of the points which I made is about using lentils. One of the complaints which I always find from people when they talk about the bloating. So there are 2-3 reasons why it's happened, because I see often in the West people use the canned products, and canned products is one of the major causes of bloating. Apart from this, the importance of cooking the lentil right cannot be overlooked. So for example, when we used to see our grandmother and mother cooking lentil, they would soak lentil. So the split lentil will be soaked for 2-3 hours, and then the water will be thrown out. Then the lentil will be refreshed. The lentil with the skin will preferably be soaked overnight, and then the water will be thrown out. And also the lentil with the skin, we generally use the pressure cooker, because the pressure cooker actually destroys the lectin, which is one of the major causes of bloating with the lentils.
Perfect information you gave. Yeah, in fact, we do the same. We all, thank you for saying it, because I didn't say it. Yeah, soaking the lentils and all the beans is very important. And then using the Kombu Seaweed. This is going to avoid also the gases. And it's helping for the digestion, and it's helping also to cook them and that they are softer, so they are not hard. And also it's going to make that this cooking is going to be full of minerals. So Kombu, it's K-O-M-B-U. This is for me something amazing. Everything I cooked, cereals, lentils, beans, everything that is going to take some time, just the size of a stump, you put it inside. If you don't want to eat it afterwards, doesn't matter, but it's done the work. Thank you.
Sonia, somebody's asking, I'm not sure if this is in the tips, but if it's in the document, how to spell propolis.
Propolis. Right? That's the correct spelling actually.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't understand. How to spell what? Sorry.
I think it was
the propolis.
The propolis. Okay, it's
P-R-O-P-O-L-I-S, right?
L-I-S. Propolis.
And
it's coming from the bees.
So there's a couple of more questions in there, and if you want to just unmute your microphone, you can ask as well, Christine, if you want to chime in with your question. Christine is joining us from St. Bart's, and she's also
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Just to add to the anti-flatulence, you can also add hing, H-I-N-G, which is Asafoetida. So it's the sap of the Asafoetida tree that's been dried and ground to powder. And you can put in anything like lentils or anything that would normally cause gas as the lectin, and it will also help to digest as well. And then somebody else mentioned coriander and cumin seeds. To any lentil type, any vegetarian dish like that. It's excellent for the digestion. And there's a great book called Healing Spices that talks more about all the spices that I recommend. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine.
That was beautiful.
And then we have one more. Are prunes as good as eating plums? If anybody wants to tackle that one.
They are good, but they have a little different properties. You get a higher mineral content in prune because it's dehydrated, and it will be a little higher in calories as well in comparison to the plums. So those have their inherent properties which are different, but then one has to be a little careful with not eating the prune in the same quantity as they will be eating the plums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, this is something medicinal. We cannot eat it, and you will see if you taste it, is very strong. So it's something it's a medicine, not like a fruit.
Mm-hmm. So good. Does anybody else have any questions? Anything to share?
Sonia, right before you introduced the quinoa, you had a purple. You had something purple in a dish. I think I missed what that was. Right after when you were talking about the grains and the brown rice, before you introduced the quinoa, there was another. It was kind of almost like a jelly-looking purple, something darker color. What was that?
This one.
Not the miso. It was after.
The black rice.
Grains.
The black rice. This one.
Oh, and how is that done? That's black rice that you've already cooked and just ground up?
No, it's black itself.
Like I thought maybe I missed.
It's called Nerone rice. It's quite special, so you maybe you don't find in every supermarket. It's something to find in a herbal store or.
Okay.
I don't know if this was what you were asking.
I thought it looked more like, yes.
This is the black soya.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the black soya. This is amazing. And for example, I cooked it 2 nights ago. I give you a quick recipe if you want to try it, because it's amazing like this. I mean, you just put some onions also in a wok. First of all, you cook them. Okay, during the night is with water, and then you cook next day with the pressure pot. And then what you do is in a wok, you take some onions, and then I did it with dry figs. That Leslie was talking about the figs from here. So I did it with dry figs and some apples also in pieces, and I put it all together. And then I put like half a glass of soya sauce and water with all this, and it's amazing. It's like very tasteful. My son loves it. So it's sometimes nice recipe for kids, and for people that are not very enthusiastic with the legumes, with the beans and all that.
Good, thank you.
A pleasure. Well,
so Sonia, you'll share those recipes with me, and then I'll share it with everyone in the follow-up as well. So
of course.
And these other recipes that you mentioned, so you'll all have that in case you weren't able to take great notes. We'll pass that.
And if you go to our website, to masqi.es, there is now in the home, there's a place called Masqi Retreats at Home. And there are some documents that we are selling every 2 weeks with some meditations and recipes and things, so you can follow it up if you want. It's everything free, and so you can have a look to it.
Great. Does anybody have anything else to ask?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes,
Sonia, do you still recommend the kukicha?
of course. Well, kukicha is like part of my life. I have it here.
I
Yeah.
still drink it almost every day.
Yeah, kukicha, kuki means branch. So kuki cha in Japanese means tea of branches. And it's a tea that is also toasted. And it's also very alkaline, and you can drink as much as you want because it's not having tain. It's having a lot of calcium, having vitamins. I mean, it's an amazing product. In Masqi, we are, like kukicha addicts all the time, are selling kukicha. But today I didn't mention it because, well, for the immune system would be better the other ones. But
okay.
kukicha for me is the base. It's also having an alkaline body is going to help for being healthy. And it's good for the skin. And yes.
So great. Thank you so much, Sonia. And so just a couple of things, and if you think of any other few questions as we sign off now, we do have a private Facebook group for the virtual retreat. So Sonia is in there as well. So you can always ask her a question, or Kuntal, or Christine, or Leslie, or any of our amazing retreat leaders and healers. And I'm going to put the link here to that. So if you haven't already joined that group, you can join that. And the only other thing that I'd like to share before we sign off is if you're joining us this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we'll start with an astrology discussion where we will dive into understanding your birth chart, which is really cool if you haven't done that already. I'm going to put another link here in the chats, which just gives you it'll tell you how to basically generate your birth chart if you don't already have one. That website that it directs you to is a little bit complicated in a way. It's a little disorganized, but it's free. So it's just a free place where you can, and the instructions are there though, how you can run that if you don't already have that. It would be great to come to that discussion with your birth chart. I think that is all for me, kind of logistically. Does anybody have anything else to share before we sign off? You can unmute your microphones.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It was very enjoyable. Very good. I wrote down a lot of information. Looking forward to reading the PDF that Dawn sent us.
Yes, yeah, the PDF is really great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again.
Okay.
Well,
We'll see you.
thank you to all of you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you in class too.
Okay.
Thank you all so much.
Go make some miso soup.
Yes. Well, it's been a pleasure having you all in Spain here. It's been a short trip.
Yeah, thank you for showing us your space, and hopefully everybody will get to visit Spain at some point when we're allowed to travel again. It really is a special, special place there.
Yeah. Well, have a good day. See you later.
Bye.
In the morning.
Bye.
Thank you.
So much.
Bye. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Leslie. A pleasure seeing you.
Yeah, always so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. I loved your talk.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And be sure to download that tips. It's really, it sums up everything in such a beautiful, concise way.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be nice also for this lockdown to take care of that things, maybe to improve a little bit what we normally do.
Yeah.
I think it's an opportunity. Yeah.
So, Sonia, is it easy to find a lot of those ingredients? Like, I feel like, I mean, you'll give the recipe and the ingredients, but I feel like, can you just go to the grocery store and buy it?
You know, for example, now I ran out of umeboshi and I bought them through Amazon. So imagine. At the end, you know, you can buy online.
Yeah, anything.
It's a question of looking for it. Yeah. But yeah, it's not so difficult nowadays.
Do you recommend a certain miso? taste?
Well, Muji is the most, no, for you, I think also that it's a warm place is the best one.
Okay.
Because it's not so young. I mean, there are others that are more young than Muji, so I recommend you Muji.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good.
All right.
Well,
thank you.
nice to see you.
Yeah,
I will join later. I don't want to
Okay.
lose the astrology.
Thank you, Gio.
It'll be fun. We'll see you later. It'll be late for you. We'll see you then. All right.
Bye.
Bye.